Call the meeting to order for a regular city council meeting Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Roll call. Keith Warney.
Present.
Kevin Thompson.
Here.
Johnson here. That one is absent. Bill Hall is not logged in yet. Yeah, Metallic is here for the city clerk position.
Sir.
We do have Kelly Kumpel here, deputy clerk. Stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I had a quick little statement here. Our meetings have been getting a little long. And it's my fault because I had said we want conversation. But I've been letting it get too far. We're going down rabbit holes, and so we're gonna do a little better job of controlling it by going from the mayor's handbook that was approved in January 8th of 2024 and our council statement of values. There's just a few things in there. I think everybody should have a copy of that.
Yeah, I think I do.
You know, and if not, Keith, I don't know if you got one, Keith, when you came on.
Think so, but I don't remember.
Because we used to have them out when people first came on. We used to get those, and I'm not sure. So the couple of highlights: council members will not speak at whim. Members must be recognized by the presiding officer prior to speaking or be ruled out of order. That's straight out of the book. No debate or discussion will take place until a motion and a second are on the table if it's an action item. At that point, I'll call on the person who made the motion to state their position with a 5-minute time limit. Then after that, I'll call on the person who seconded the motion to do the same, and then each council member. So everybody gets their up to 5 minutes if they wish to speak that one. And then if there's more discussion needed, everybody will again have time. It'll be 2 minutes. At that point, we vote. It's just a way of moving things along. And I think in 7 minutes, we should be able to state our opinions and get going.
So how do we address you to get acknowledged so we can speak?
Just say,
Just raise our hand.
just say hey or Jody or May or whatever.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak?
Yeah, exactly. And just then acknowledging it's
Okay.
not. Anyone wishing to add agenda item must contact Brett prior to noon on Wednesday before the meeting. Any supporting documents must be to him at that time also. If supporting documents are not in the council packet, the item will be stricken from the agenda. No handouts at the meeting will be considered. If it's a discussion item, I mean, we can discuss, but we're not going to act on something that we just get paperwork for. Doesn't give us time to do a good job of researching. Being prepared for the meeting means reading the agenda and packet information prior to the meeting. We received them on Friday. Gives everybody 2 days to look it over, and then Monday to get hold of Brett if there's clarification needed. Those are just a few of the highlights that I think will help move things along. The meeting's a little shorter, a little more focused, so we're not going down rabbit holes. That's strictly my fault because I wanted conversation and I've just let it get a little bit out of hand.
So what happens if there's an issue that comes up after Wednesday that would be worthy of being an agenda item? Would a consensus of the board allow that to be part of it?
As long as we have the information ahead of time. I don't want us to be acting on things that we just get information unless it's an absolute emergency. Some stuff comes up and we have to act on it. We only have a time limit, but if it's normal stuff that could wait, we would just push it to the next meeting.
Okay.
So it'll still get dealt with, but just give everybody time to digest it and research.
So if we have to have it in by Wednesday, we get the packets on Friday and we read something in the packet that maybe there's an item that another thing should be added on the agenda to address that same topic. Is that going to be acceptable?
Well, at some point, I have to post the meeting, and I have to have packets out. And typically, Thursday is packet build day, right? So I'm getting all the information from the departments, trying to get it in there. Like in this case, Heather still had to fix something on hers. She couldn't get it to me by the cutoff, right?
So that would I guess that brings up a good question. So you can't present anything at the meeting as we walk in, there's stuff laying in front of me. I haven't seen this. So this is not acceptable.
If it's informational, it's one thing. If it's an action item,
Well, there is an action
Yeah.
item here.
Well, so that's
that's a
in,
it's a donation.
from,
Still an action item.
but it was in, Greenwood Connections minutes. This is just.
I'm not saying, I'm just using that as an.
Oh, yeah,
example.
no, you're right.
I
So,
come in here many meetings, there's stuff piled up here that I have to kind of sift through and.
yeah, no,
figure out.
no, there's none of that.
There
No,
won't be any of that anymore.
no, there hasn't.
Now we have to push it to the next.
Yeah.
So everybody has time to look things over and make good decisions.
No, that's common sense. That's a good point.
And I'm the last person that wants to be conducting a near ambush with the council, right? I've played that game and, I won stupid prizes, so.
Can I ask a
No,
question?
you can't until you get acknowledged.
You may.
Yes. So you said Wednesday, but there was that cutoff before. You were being very specific on Wednesday. So say that there was something that came up that needed to be, and you would get the information out in your packet by Friday. You're
Yeah,
not-
that's what I was talking about. If it's something that, like an insurance thing that you had to have it, I remember that deal.
Yeah.
I
So
would say,
if it was to be able to get out to the council by Friday, up to discretion, if it was like, yeah, I can get it into the packet. Doesn't have to have a Wednesday cutoff, like you said, like.
Yeah, there's a case by case basis, all right?
Yeah,
And there is triage. Like, if you bring up something and it's like, hey, Brett, this is really important for Greenwood Connections and the city council has to know it. Okay, no problem. But if, it's a big action, like, let's look at the agenda right now. All right, RFP for legal representation. If that was brought to me Friday and the packet's already made, I have them laying out ready for the council and it's not ready. Hey, sorry, this has got to get rolled to the next meeting, right? And then this kind of stuff I would consider routine business, right? Excess resolutions, routine business, right? If something you get tabled and rolled, fine. But hey, if it's something that, like your project that, time's a factor on a lot of that, yeah, okay, we'll shoehorn it in. Yeah, it's no problem.
well, like you said, as long as the information's in our packet, it gives us time to
Mhm.
deal with it instead of just last minute on the table.
Your preference is to have it Wednesday, but if it can't at all and something comes up. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, I think we're a small enough, tight enough, administration and community here. We're like, come on, Laura, I'm gonna do what you need me to do, right? So.
All right, so we'll move it on to approval of the agenda. And then
Yes, just this resolution. It's not officially listed on here. This was in Greenwood Connections minutes, and we are just formally accepting the minutes.
dates on your business.
Yes. No, that's it from us here.
Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Bill, okay, we do that. You hear us, Bill? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we're approving the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Same sign, the agenda's approved. Do we have any signups for public forum?
Big no.
We have the consent agenda. We've got the September 8th regular council meeting minutes, and September 29th special work session minutes. Was there anything in there that anybody noticed? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Please. Second.
Second.
Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. We have no public hearings. Commission, planning and zoning commission minutes were in there for information. And that brings us up to new business.
Yeah, Council Chief Lane's requesting a PTO payout of 40 hours. She is, just due to, her officers being absent for various reasons, she's been having to clock in, a lot of time. And it, hasn't been able to take a lot of time off, so, she's already taken out a, payout earlier this year. I know in our personnel policy, we're gonna kind of change how this goes going forward, but this would help reduce her overall hours of PTO that she currently has in the bank.
How much has she banked so far?
Just north of 600.
I know that, doesn't it go to, doesn't it max out at 512?
It does.
Since it's an action item, let's get a motion one way.
I'll make a motion to allow it to be paid out.
Second,
Well said.
any discussion? Well, actually, I'll do it the right way. You made the motion.
So, no, I was just saying, if she's north of 600, I mean, I would be, obviously support it to pay some out. But hopefully she can get some time off too, but
Yes.
I'm wondering if, I know the policy says what, 40 hours, max of 40 hours or.
It was a strange situation having, she had one person out on leave, which was planned, but then this
Yeah.
other deal came up and she's dedicated. She's not gonna leave the town not covered.
Yeah, but now after she has both guys back, hopefully she can get some time off or, I mean,
I mean, it's kind of a delicate balance, right? I don't want to micromanage. I don't want to manage her time. But I'm also, the first one to say like, hey, you need to take time off, go take time off. And, if she's going to rebut that, I'm not going to push too hard on it because it's her department. She has to run it. And if, she feels that she has to be here and, provide that public safety service, I'm not gonna trump her.
Well, Derek is still out.
no, he's back.
He's
Is he
back.
back?
Yep.
Yesterday.
Yesterday was his first day back,
Cool.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
So,
for a month.
Bill, you were.
Yeah, no, I think you kind of answered my question, when you max out at 512 and you go over that, are you supposed to maybe, if you request a payout, do you have to do it before you go over the 512?
You can ask for a payout, anytime you want. There is no maximum, but our new policy is gonna say you have to have a minimum of 40 hours. So
Left.
left.
Keep 40 hours.
so she could cash out more if she wanted to.
Correct.
Starting January 1 in the new policy, man.
But in the new policy, you can only do 20 hours per pay period.
Okay,
You can cash
so
out
she could
20
cash out 20
So
hours
like, don't-
after pay
yeah,
period.
so we don't get hit with.
Yeah.
All 100 hours at one
Yeah.
time.
But no, but that's starting January 1 with the new policy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or budge in on your
Well,
time.
I don't know, the whole conversation can be, we have to kind of add lip here, but that being said, then, so you're answering my questions, based on that theory, then, as far as budgeting for the actual budget for the police department, and we got that much PTO built up, is there allowances built into your budget to cover that?
I mean, if she was gonna ask for all 600 hours today, absolutely not. And I don't think anywhere would, just give a giant lump sum like that. It would say like, hey, okay, so let's say she moved and she had to, leave, right? And council said, hey, you're leaving a good standing. You're gonna get your PTO. It would just be, basically a monthly check. Or we would run payroll per normal because,
I think when a person leaves, you have to pay them out. I think you only have so many days to pay them out. If I remember right,
I would have to look.
if
at
they're
the
leaving
legalities.
unemployment. If they're leaving unemployment, I think you have to pay them out for that, but
Unless they take that, say, okay, they figure out all their vacation. Okay, this is the last date is December 31st of
Yeah.
25,
Bill, did you have any input on that?
No, I've been listening. I was wondering on the 512. Wasn't up on that policy, but if that was just in the dialogue, the questions and the answers are just starting to make more sense. So, the question I had was answered, and so I just been taking notes.
Do we need any more discussion on it? Okay, the motion is to approve it.
So we're not setting a precedence here, are we?
No, it'd be the new policy takes care of it as of January 1st, so. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries. Got the RFP for legal.
Right, I think just in the nature of staying competitive, making sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck here. We've put together some language for an RFP for legal representation. This doesn't mean that we're gonna move away from our current representatives. This is just something we can send out and say, hey, what can you provide us? There's nothing that also says that we have to have just a single attorney representing the city. Most firms, don't require a retainer. We can sign on with them for specific things, such as, zoning disputes. We could go with an expert there. Personnel disputes, there could be just other organizations. And I think just kind of widening our aperture here, making sure that we're getting the right representation that gets back to us in a reasonable amount of time is pretty acceptable and pretty routine these days.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the RFP language for distribution? Second. I'll second. Bill, good. Any more discussion?
So, yeah, I got one pointer. So is this something we're gonna do and reorganize in January?
We'll get the RFPs now and then in January we can.
So don't we already have a couple law firms? Don't we have Pemberton and Flaherty and Hood already under contract?
Do we have Pemberton?
I've never worked with Pemberton so far since I've been here. I've worked with Flaherty and Hood. I've worked with that firm that did that facilitated our TIF transfer. But those were all one-offs.
I know when you're saying you could, I know in the past we've had more than one. But that makes sense to have maybe 2 or 3 in your bullpen. So if you have certain things that come up somewhere specifically specialty in that, so that probably makes sense.
It'd be good due diligence and good information for us to have for the organization in January, just to see where we're at.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Both same sign. Carries. RFP for roof project.
So when we did the resolution that we sent in for our grant request, that was just a single bid that was given to us. And again, I think it's pretty accurate as far as pricing, but we just want to get some second, third opinions and just making sure that we're not favoring any one company. So
Yeah, that was pretty much just got us a ballpark, so at least we knew what we had to budget for it. Now we can make it official and get more bids like we should. All right, can I get a motion to approve RFP language for distribution?
So
Second.
I just had one question for you. So when you submitted the grant, that's not Sourcewell anymore, is it? What's the new company?
no, Sourcewell.
Still Sourcewell, okay. Did you use the old bid of like, what was it 75,000 or 70,000?
71.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
used.
But the
You
grant
submitted
was-
that, would that meet their criteria as far as having multiple quotes on it, or?
No, they fully understand that from the time that we submit it to the time that it actually gets voted on, and funding comes here, they're gonna expect that a little more legwork has been done. For the just for the grant itself, we had to give them something,
Right.
so we did.
When the grants were 50, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that's my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we got a motion and a second. Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. So, those stand out.
Next, I have a excess property. I have old phones. I have no idea where they came from. I think some of them might have been evidence. The two iPhones, they turn on, which is great. But they're iPhone 7s. I just don't think we're going to get too much. I personally would just love to dispose of them. However, they are factory reset. And so I think that if someone wanted an iPhone 7, they could, we could absolutely get rid of them. The Huawei, I don't believe they even sell Huawei in America anymore. I recommend destruction. The LG smartphones, some of these, I can't turn them on. I don't have power cords for them. And so I would recommend destruction for the Huawei, LG, and then the Samsung smartphone. I don't even know. I don't know. They're bricks.
So do you want to list them for sale then, or do you want to just?
I mean, I'm gonna recommend that we destroy the 3 under there that have recommended destruction.
Oh, yeah, quick question. I remember back in the day, we bought 6 new iPads with the COVID money. That we had to, do we still have those
Oh,
in-house?
yeah.
Are they being utilized or should we try to sell those too, or
So Public Works is using them right now.
sell
And
6 of them?
not all
Oh.
6. I think they're using 2 or 3 of them. They use them for meter reads and just something to have while they're out and about, pulling up maps and everything. I know that, and I know us between the staff talked about getting rid of them, and the answer was like, no, they're still useful. They still all work. Let's hold on to them.
So there might be a use for them later on down the road.
I mean, they're nice. They're nice machines. They're fast. They connect to the cell network. I mean, they still got a little tooth left in them.
So you would consider them excess equipment or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna go and read the resolution.
I will. And then I'm just going to say for the Huawei, LG smartphone, Samsung smartphone, I'm just going to say, hey, or I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say for destruction. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, sale and disposal of excess property. Whereas the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota has identified certain items of city-owned property that are no longer needed for municipal purposes. And whereas City Council wishes to declare these items as excess property and authorize their sale to the public. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, that the following items are hereby declared excess property and approved for sale as is with the specified minimum bids. iPhone 7, 2 handsets, minimum bid $10. Huawei model H1711 for destruction. LG smartphone, destruction. Samsung smartphone, destruction. Be it further resolved that the City Council authorize the city staff to advertise and conduct sale in accordance with applicable laws and policies. Be it further resolved, the City Council authorizes the disposal of items listed on this resolution if they are unable to be sold due to not turning on, visibly broken, and for privacy and data concerns. Adopted by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, the 14th day of October, 2025.
I get a motion for resolution 2025-28.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Oh. All those in favor say aye.
I got one comment.
Go ahead, Doug.
Are you gonna advertise these in the paper or to sell? Because you probably spend more on advertising you're gonna get for it.
Right.
I think we will probably just use Facebook and keep it in the community. I mean, nowadays they're really moving to eSIMs. I don't believe the iPhone 7 is compatible with an eSIM. So you have to get an actual SIM card for it. And I think, after 30 days, we'll probably just dispose of them.
Yeah, I used an iPhone 7 until 3 months ago.
I used an iPhone 7 for
9 years.
a couple of years.
I guess all I'm saying is, why would we spend money on advertising
Right.
that costs more than what the value of the product?
Yeah,
is?
no, we're not.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Both same sign. All right, that's it.
Right, so another excess, resolution, this is for Greenwood Connection, due to the whole Windows 10 to 11 update, there were quite a few you'll see on the Exhibit A attachment that have been removed by WCTA. I reached out to Wendy Irons and basically said, because she wanted to just drop them off here. And, I asked her point blank, is there anything that we can do with these? And the answer is no. They are bricks and they're wiped completely clean. You could reimage them, but you'll never get Windows 11. Therefore, there's going to be a security risk involved with it. So the answer is West Central is going to have them destroyed, and that's that.
Cost involved. Well,
There's no cost involved. No.
all right, read the resolution.
Right, resolution authorizing
You want to read the number of the resolution?
Yes, this is resolution 2025-29, a resolution authorizing the disposal of obsolete computer equipment at Greenwood Connection Nursing Home. Whereas the city of Menahga owns certain Windows 10 computers used at Greenwood Connection Nursing Home, and whereas these devices have been wiped clean and reimaged and currently have no functional software installed. And whereas Microsoft will end official support for Windows 10 on October 14th, 2025, creating security, compliance, and functionality risks should these systems continue to be used. And whereas maintaining or attempting to reuse these machines may expose the city to cybersecurity threats, violate state or federal IT and data protection standards, and prevent compatibility with modern applications or operating systems. And whereas the devices listed in Exhibit A are recommended for retirement and disposal in accordance with the city's surplus or e-waste disposal policies. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of Menahga, Minnesota, that the devices listed in Exhibit A are declared surplus property. 2, the city clerk treasurer is authorized to dispose of these devices in accordance with city policy and Minnesota state law. Adopted by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, the 14th day of October, 2025.
I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-29.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Any disposal?
Next, we have a resolution. This is for the Community Concern for Youth program. The city and the school have historically donated to this, and we're just being prepared to donate again. This is resolution 2025-27, a resolution authorizing participation with the Community Concern for Youth program with Todd Wadena Community Corrections. Whereas the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota has authority to sponsor projects that they feel are for the betterment of the community. The City of Menahga and the Menahga Public Schools have participated with the Community Concern Youth program with Todd Wadena Community Corrections for several years. And therefore be resolved by the City Council that Todd County act as a sponsoring unit of government for the project entitled Community Concern for Youth, to be conducted by Todd Wadena Community Corrections during the period of January 1st of 2026 through 31 December 2026. Lou Noska, chairperson, Todd County Board of Commissioners is hereby authorized to execute such agreements and funding as are necessary to implement the project on behalf of the Menahga City Council. Be it further resolved that the city council hereby agree to contribute $1,764 for the project titled Todd Wadena Community Concern for Youth during the period of 1 January 26 through 31 December 26, which is to be paid on 1 January 26. It is understood that the Menahga School Board contributes $4,426 for a total community contribution of $6,190. Adopted by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, this the 14th day of October, 2025.
A motion to approve resolution 2025-27.
So moved.
Second,
So moved.
Keith. Any discussion? This is a good program. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Like contribute.
Right. Kelly, please, come on up and, give us an overview about our insurances.
I was asked just guys to give you guys a rundown on increases, decreases, well, I don't, no decreases. For 2026, what we're looking at. Auto insurance is gonna go up 9.04% from last year. Dental, it's a flat 7%. They put everyone that is on, we're on a Pathfinder 6. Anybody that is on that Pathfinder 6 all gets put into this massive pool. And everybody in Pathfinder 6 is going at 7%. So it doesn't matter your area, it doesn't matter how much you've used it, you're just automatically going to do it. To kind of tell you how that is affecting anything, for a family plan, it's going to go up $10.55 a month. That is the full amount, so the city would pay half of that. Individual plans are only increasing $2.96 a month. Again, the city would pay half, so $1.50. Healthcare is going to jump up 13.61%, and the deductible will also increase $100. So that will bring some of the plans over the city's contribution of $1,000 for a single plan and $1,200 for a family plan. For example, on that, in 2025, there was a family plan for $1,335. It's going to increase to $1,525. Individual in 2025, it was $958. It's going to increase to $1,111. So that kind of shows you on average what the jump will be. Same with the dental is based on a massive pool. I talked to Bill Singer, which is our insurance rep. He said it can be cities and non-cities that are thrown into this pool, but everybody gets the same increase. Next year, come January, okay, ours expires. Ours goes up December 1st, 2025. If ours went January 1st of 2026, it would be increasing over 14% and going up another $100 deductible. So we were told we're lucky that it's December 1st of 25 because ours is only going up 13.61.
Is it Blue Cross Blue Shield?
We don't have Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm just throwing it in there as in we have health partners, but I did that to kind of show you ours is going up 13.61. Blue Cross is increasing 20% across the whole state of Minnesota. That is minimum.
And we did look at Blue Cross last year, and the sticker point is Blue Cross considers the city of Menahga and Greenwood as a single entity.
And I did find out some of those that have Blue Cross are going up 25%.
Oof.
So I was looking at 13.61 isn't so bad. Some of the reasons that it is going up is prescription usage is up. Technology always costs more, and that does drive prices up. And then the doctors, the nurses, the hospitals, the clinics are all charging more. Something I did not get thrown on the bottom of yours, I have been asked recently, Brett too, about a vision plan. So just to throw it out there, I did some research today. Starting on an individual plan would be $12.49 a month for vision.
$12.49 for.
Yes,
I was gonna say, cause
That's just individual, right?
yes.
Was there a family pricing there too?
You know, I didn't find one yet. I think I would also have to call them and see if there's a different rate for a small business. You know, to put more people on. I just did it with one to see, you know, kind of a rough estimate.
There, you read it down.
I just wanna, and for information as far as, oh, sorry, did you say?
Go ahead.
As information as far as eye vision insurance, just to give you the information. We have it and it's not, well, it doesn't pay, right? A lot of the local, providers don't take, so we have a VSIS and we were wanting VSP, but then we were hearing VSP wasn't being taken by ones that took them before. It's Costco, if you go to Costco and you have a Costco savings and it's really, you're not saving any money. I mean, I've been told that as well.
The plan that I went with, that I researched was Humana. And they do Walmart in Wadena, Park Rapids, Detroit Lakes. They do Shopco. So I researched all that before I even gave you a price, because I wanted to make sure that it was going to be something that we would be able to use.
Well, thank you. I've never heard of Humana, so thank you. I've asked our agents for vision and we've gotten VSP and Avisus, so
Yep, I looked up Humana today, so
didn't realize that Humana was a plan that I thought it was more of a Medicare Advantage plan.
well, you can do Medicare, you can do dental and vision together, or you can just do or vision.
So Humana is for anybody regardless of,
Mhm.
of over 65.
Yep.
Nice find.
So, so why would we entertain adding more to the benefit package?
Well,
And when we're looking at trying to cut costs.
this is just information
Okay.
so that everybody's aware. I mean, most of us have probably seen it on the news. It's been pretty big news that everything in Minnesota, every insurance is going up, up, up. I just wanted to make sure we had the information. It gives us, you know, what's going up, and then if we ever do want to consider, we know where it's at.
Yeah, just to comment, the private sector is getting beat up too. There's no funding mechanism using public funds to help us out. So I'm just want to make sure that's out there that if we're trying to save the taxpayers money, why would we enrich the benefit package when everybody else is getting suffering without that extra revenue coming in from taxpayers?
And Kelly, do you know how many people does this affect, this increase here, for what is above what we
To
cover?
go above, like four.
Yeah,
Four out of 12, I believe. Because then we still have Scott's on it.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing about the vision, the staff aren't asking to be covered, but what the staff is saying is us together might come together and say, hey, let's get on this plan. We would be paying.
Yeah, without the city's help.
Yeah.
Because the majority of us have glasses.
I think all of us do. Except Julie.
Questions?
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, that brings us to Greenwood Connect and donation.
Right, so just before this resolution came out today, yeah, I kind of talked with Laura, right? So technically speaking, you can put a resolution in a consent agenda, vote on the entire consent agenda, and it would be approved. Well, Laura puts this in her minutes. Minutes are in the packet. We approve her report and financials. Technically speaking in a very roundabout way, the council's approving the donations. However, I think, just
We might not notice it in.
you might not notice it, and there is a very specific statute. I think it's like 465.03, I think, where it says that the governing body has to, by resolution, recognize donations. So,
CYA.
yeah, I think we're just gonna probably end up doing it this way going forward. So, without further ado, this is resolution 2025-31. The resolution accepting donations, whereas the city of Menahga gratefully acknowledges the following donations in support of Greenwood Connections. $250 from the Gateway Lions, $405 from Families of Residents. Whereas these contributions help support Greenwood Connection activities. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, that the donations described above are hereby accepted with sincere appreciation. Adopted this the 14th day of October 2025.
A motion to approve resolution 2025-31.
So
Second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. Aye. Thank you very much for the donation. Got the police report. What report? This is from 9/25 to 10/9. 85 calls. Nothing too drastic. State citation, 2 vehicles, no registration, 1 wireless communications, 1 vaping. Knowledge on the squad cars. Tahoe radiator repaired on 10/9, covered under warranty.
Thank goodness.
MnDOT approved to move the Menahga sign out to Willow Avenue. Unknown when will take place.
Okay. Ryan did not render a complete report. He was with we had a Public Works and Campground Beach committee meeting that we had last Friday. I am going to be walking with Brian either tomorrow or Friday through the campground and just kind of getting a hands-on view of what he's going to be doing as far as additional sites, etc. And then you have the liquor store report in front of you. What was the issue, Kelly, with the report? Why didn't I get it on time again?
Because we realized that when we had to do the adjusting journal entries after the audit, it changed some of her numbers because it took some of the numbers that were in 25, put them back to 24. So then I gave her the reports all over again. So now she's exactly where she needs to be. It was off a few dollars. We wanted absolutely pristine. So we started from scratch all over again.
Looks like we're still doing
I
good.
have a question. So explain to me, I know you said the money's pulled out of this fund, the profits to pay for the beer cave. But don't we have money set aside for capital improvements in another fund somewhere?
That's where everything's being pulled.
I put everything for all of the improvements into her capital outlay accounts.
So
So
that,
everything is in the capital outlay accounts right now.
and that started with the big roof project, right?
Yes,
That 45,000 was in there, and then everything that's been done with the beer cave.
yes.
So the number that I'm looking at here as far as the year-to-date profit of 42,854, is that a correct number?
The 42,000?
It says 42,854 is the year-to-date profit.
Yes, I believe so.
So then we're running way behind from last year then, because I think last year we finished in excess of 110,000, didn't we?
Right, but we have pulled, so you're pulling out of off sale into the capital improvement. So it's still coming out of here, going into the capital improvement and being paid out of the capital improvement. So if you put,
So are we gonna be able to actually transfer money out of the liquor store into our general fund to help offset or help your budget,
we
right?
got that, we got that set at 25,000.
That's right.
We did it 25 so that we could do this improvement. Instead of the 75 that or 70 that we had done before. We had agreed to that earlier in the year,
Okay,
so they can do the improvement.
so that's not a true reflection of what the profit actually is, so.
Not really when you
Yeah.
consider what's been paid out.
Thank you for the clarity.
Right, for Public Works, I don't have a report for you this time, but we can, myself and the mayor talk about, the Public Works Committee meeting where, they were just talking about the future and what that's gonna look like. We heard from Brian as far as, the campground, which kind of drove me to go, line up some time to go out there and walk around with them. And then for Ron, there's a pump at our, I think it's our main well one that we're gonna have to probably look at replacing sometime, in the future
They said probably next year.
by next, yeah,
Does he know the cost of it?
about 7,000.
So, 7.
Seven.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would come out of the water fund, out of the
Yeah.
enterprise fund.
I thought you said 70 and I was gonna say,
Yeah, you would, it's believable, right?
no, the way everything else is going, I mean,
Yeah,
7, that's a little bit bigger, or that's a little smaller pill to swallow than I mean, it's still horrendous, but
And we're still waiting to find out on grants for that skid steer and whatnot that they want. He did mention that the Sterling plow truck
yeah.
is good for this winter yet, but then it's about out. So we recommend that he see what he can get for that before he looks at buying a new one. See what the market is on it. It sounded pretty good. We could get something for it and then they're not, did he say 70 for the?
Yeah.
I think he said 70,000 is about what the used plow truck is for. So
there's a place, what is it, not Arco, but there's on the other side of St. Cloud, there's a lot of,
Is it Fritch or Friedrich?
Yeah, I
But that
can't
new one, it's on the right hand, left hand side as you go into the cities?
You pass it on 10?
yeah. It'd be just like, I think it's just past the prison.
Oh, way down.
Kind of by the Polaris, there's a Polaris dealership.
Yeah, I know.
There's a bunch of like MnDOT plow trucks. They must buy, when MnDOT sells their trucks, they must buy a lot of them. So I can't remember what that place is. I saw it. And, I mean, there's truck vans like that too.
at least that's a next year
Yeah.
thing. He said we're good for this year. They got DOT, they're good to go.
Just it's starting to.
It's nickel and diamond.
Oh.
It's a Sterling.
Yeah.
I recommend that he doesn't buy another Sterling.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will be.
And that brings up Greenwood Connections. Lori, you wanna come up?
Thank you for recognizing me so many times. I'll try to keep my mouth shut next time. It's hard when you have like, oh, I have a question right now, and that would be a good time to ask it because, you know. Huh?
You bring valuable insight.
So the building project that was approved at the last council meeting, so signed a contract and I do owe you a contract that I need to send it to you to file.
Oh, yes,
At City Hall,
please.
right? Yeah. I just saw it here and I was like, is this the signed one? No, that's not it. So, as far as the, financials, we had a net operating income of 117,365 for August. So we had a good month. Our census has been remaining around that high 80%, 89% for August. This month, right now, today, our census is at 57. So 88,000 approximately, or 88%. So we've had a fairly good year. the medical surcharge is going to be going up, and I talked about some other future impacts that we're gonna see on rates, and then the minimum wage requirements, and I'm working on budgeting and trying to come up with what we can do there, because we're required to increase the CNA wages.
State mandate.
Yeah, and TMA wages and LPN wages have to be a certain amount, and then all nursing home employees have to be $19 an hour. So we have some increases to make to meet those minimum wage requirements for the Workforce Standards Board for nursing homes. As far as, talking about that, it's not in the report, but I've had, you talked about insurance. I've been working for getting a reinsurance renewal since August, and had a renewal come back in September late September at 30%. So that's what ours is. So the 13% is, yeah, I wish it was 13. So I had
our insurance.
I had asked them to go out to go out to the market, because at 30%, it's like, they went back to Menahga, and Menahga came back at would have voted 27%, or was it 28%? I said that still doesn't do it. We had 115% utilization, so it kind of doesn't really make sense. They take what's in June, and in August, ours actually wasn't as bad as it was in June, but their cutoff is June, what they look at for the rate increases. So I did ask them to go out. I haven't heard back. It's been quite a while. I did send an email today. Didn't get a response. I suppose they didn't really have any information for me yet, and back from the insurance companies. What that does is that's quite a bit. Our family plans are doubling in cost to the employee. If we keep our costs where they're at, the 1,000 and the 1,200, which the city does as well, for a family plan, it's going from $300 to $600 for that employee, or I think we're even more at $400 to $800 a month, or there might even be the 6 to 9, 12. There's some we have some family plans that are $3,600. So a month, that's a lot. And as you said, everybody's seeing these high costs in insurance. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping that we'll see a difference. The other option was to go with this ICRA, which I went with a few years ago to get us out of this, because we were coming back. We came back with a 50% increase, and I went out to this ICRA. Each employee has their own individual coverage. It was kind of a disaster to manage for a year, but they say it's an option. I didn't love it. Employees didn't love it. It gave insurance. I can't say anybody could say they went uninsured, or that they had claims not necessarily paid. It was really hard to manage, but it brought us back into a market. As when we went to market, then the next time we had a lot lower rates. Who knows what happens next year? If we come to market next year, it could be that our rates are a lot higher because we weren't in a plan or in a group last year. So I don't know. They said we can go that way. I could go to the market. I'll go open market right now and push it and see what we can get, try to get a lower rate. So that's where we're at. And I have heard nothing back on it yet. So yes.
Do you have an insurance company you could jump into? State of Minnesota or not?
Probably not, or I'm sure they would have let us know. We were, we've had schools that we've been in before, like the city, they've had schools like that, but we're a large group too, so it makes us a little bit harder unless there's a really large pool. And that's what these ICRA plans do. It puts you into a very, very large pool, but we can't, which if the city came on with us, they'd be in a large group and they no longer have these individual, your rates are based off of your age, basically. With us, we're in a large group, so our rates are the same for everybody. So someone who's 30 is paying the same as somebody who's 62 or 65, 64 before they get on Medicare. So what's in here? As far as the building, I did meet with the architect today, and Justin, and there was a couple of, I think, with the architect firm, and we went through some building, talked about the size of the rooms and more detailed items than originally the plan, which you saw what it was. So we'll have a few more meetings, and they asked about at what point bringing it to the board and council, and I think at the board meeting we can kind of discuss that and see if there's anybody, at what point do we want to have maybe some from the boards, from the council be involved in a building committee, and if anyone would like to, and then, so not everybody, but then there has to be a point that then it's, the plan is approved by the council, but, or board and then council, so. We talked about that today, process, so,
Are you soliciting people to be on it?
we haven't had that discussion yet on anything. I actually thought we'd talk about it at the board meeting first and see what the thoughts were, how they felt about it, and.
How do you feel about it? Would it be any value to have a council person and maybe somebody from the Greenwood Connections
think
board
so.
on there?
I think so. I think it would be good to have them involved in it, and they agreed maybe not everybody needed to be involved in it, but maybe there would be some that would be interested or have input on what. So
It's a big project, a lot of money.
we did actually, we discussed the rooms were originally, the apartments at 800 square feet and then 1,100 square feet. I mean, looking at them, once we got the size back of the apartments, I mean, that's a pretty good size. I mean, you're looking at 37 feet by 37 by 29, almost 30. That's a pretty good size. That's like a house inside of an apartment. So I did ask about scaling it back to the 1,000, which would save, I mean, even if 1,000, if you took off 1,300 square feet at their cost of $370 a square foot, that's, you're over 370 some thousand for 1,000 square feet. So I don't know. I just asked about scaling it back if there's something they can look at.
They would still be larger than the current ones.
Yes. So right now the current ones are 600 and 800. These would be 800 for one, 1,000 for the two. So they're significant, 200 square feet larger than the small or the one bedroom and then the two bedroom. But I mean, they said, you have to consider the future, what people want. People are like bigger houses. They're looking for that, bigger, but at what cost and can you afford it? And what's it going to cost us? I don't know. So
With that cost analysis, we did for it.
yeah.
ROI says that
The
reason we're moving forward is that we can afford to do what we initially thought we could
yes,
do. Right?
we can, although there were costs on there that weren't on there, as far as looking at the garage wasn't on there. So what's that going to cost? How much is that going to add when they try to add that garage to the cost? How many 100,000 are we looking at for building a garage, parking space?
Maybe scaling the rooms back would pay for the garage. Keep the, close to it.
And if they can't, if they say, this really isn't in these rooms, they would be, what would that look like in the rooms that 100 square feet is? That's what, I don't know. I mean, the bedroom size.
Not to interrupt you, but the only you have to be aware of, and should be cognizant of is project creep. And it sounds like they're already filtering in things that are gonna add cost to the structure.
Very first conversation.
Yeah, and based on that approach, did we get sold something other than what we got sold, basically, or?
No, I mean, it's just that, okay, they looked at it. Did they look at the plan to say for one, where the elbow is and where they said the building was going to come out of? Did they looked at it like, oh, this would be a good place to put it. They didn't necessarily look at the plan to see what was behind those walls. I looked at it and saw, well, it lines up to our entrance. It must be lining up to the entrance. I didn't look to see where that little jag was either. But as I was looking at it today, I'm like, you're going to have to move it down because otherwise you're running into the maintenance, all the mechanical rooms, the sauna area, all that. Well, you can't be building a hallway through those rooms. That's going to cost how much if you're going to try change those? So there's an apartment that's going to basically that would, if it moves down, apartment that's going to butt up to the addition, which would have no windows. So they're going to have to repurpose that apartment. That leaves you either at building 19 apartments, or if you want to go 20, maybe doing less 2 bedrooms. So those are the conversations, we're having. Okay, this was the original and this was the design, but what do we need to do? So, I don't know. So I don't think, I don't know. I figure it's worth looking at. I mean, the bedrooms we didn't see size before. We're not seeing that, the bedrooms I think come out to be 14 something by 13 something, which is a pretty good size bedroom, But we didn't see all of that before on both bedrooms. We didn't see what that looked like, so. I mean, we knew that it's bigger than what we currently have, but where that was, so anyway, I don't know if she'll completely scrap. I'm guessing she won't. Like I just said, just like to look. So, I'm sure she'll take and maybe design an apartment that's 1,000 square feet. Like, what does that look like? It's always hard to look at on paper too versus what is when you actually get in that square feet. But anyway, those are the conversations. But like I said, if there's board members, council members that want to be on that committee when we are drawing it done. Available.
When's that gonna be, evenings or?
So it probably makes it tough for some. So typically I would say they're probably meetings during the day. I mean, we can make them toward evening if it's possible, but
We could do late afternoons, I'd be interested in a lot of construction stuff.
I have I see you have the personnel policy, and so I don't have to raise my hand back there. Here, if I can ask some questions on it now. I don't see it in there, but the Minnesota paid sick leave, how are you handling that budget wise? Like, is the city having the employees pay the 0.44% and the city paying 0.44, or are you paying this employees portion of the Minnesota paid leave?
No, we're paying, the city's gonna pay the minimum.
0.44.
Yeah,
Statute.
I didn't see it in there. So is there a specific policy on it? Or I know you and I talked about it and then we had the stuff sent and I was like, I didn't specifically see that in there.
yeah, that's gonna just be its own standalone.
Oh, policy.
And it is budgeted for already. And I mean, the cost to the city wasn't too crazy at all.
Have they even come out with a model policy for that?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
There's actually a workshop tomorrow that Paige and Willie are going down to. I think the CNC is sponsoring this part of that. And they're gonna do a deep dive into it for people to get a better understanding, which you probably already have, right?
We do have a good understanding just from the financial aspect of it. How much is it gonna cost the city? How much is it gonna cost the employees? What can we look at in the future?
If I understand that correctly, you can't opt out of that either. The employee can't even opt out of it.
No.
Like, the employee is forced to pay that amount, whether they're ever gonna
Reduction,
use it
yeah.
or not.
Isn't that model based on the unemployment model for,
Yes,
yeah, they're using that same model. It's gonna be
Yeah.
processed the same way.
yes. And actually, the city might get out cheaper than the 0.44%. Small business, we could get the half price, so we would only pay 0.22, but the employees would still pay 0.44. It's based on an average wage annually. And if you're below that, you're automatically on the small business.
So our insurance company actually had asked us if we wanted to have an employer sponsored paid leave. And, because now, I mean, basically those employees that have, the short-term disability, their short-term disability rates are going way down because Minnesota paid leave is going to be better than short-term disability. So they're going to collect Minnesota paid leave. But I said, no, let's leave it as state plan and let the state manage it, because then they can, maybe there's less likely abuse from knowing that it's state managed. And
Minnesota doesn't have a good track record.
well, if you have managed it yourself, we're not, and that would be basically opting to pay for the full thing and then have your own managed plan. But that's an offered option. But we're not going that way. It has to be in your, you have to make employees aware of it by December 1st. So.
Regulations.
Yeah, it's one more thing. So, so also then, as far as the personnel policy, and I haven't seen it, and so would you say that we do not have to follow any of it because we're separate, or would you say in some areas that we should?
Well, you have your own personnel policy.
We have one. I mean, we do in some things the same, and the PTO and that type of stuff has been the same, but you're going to hours of paid out, that they can only get 20 hours of pay period maximum, but they could have 500 a year paid out. Is that what you're saying? So
As long as they keep
You have to
40,
bid
they have to keep 40.
40.
That's the stipulation.
so how do you budget for that? Like
That's what I was wondering.
how do you budget for that?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, if there is someone like that and it's that consistent, I think then that would have to come to the council. Right? Because if someone's gonna do that and they're upfront, they're like, hey, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna say, hey, we have to talk to the council first because the difference between this being a thing and not is a vote. And if someone's going to just absolutely try to rake us like that, hi, council, we're having a situation and the city needs this to change. So
We can amend the policy at any time.
So basically, they're getting the PTO for extra pay. I mean, you don't have people that replace people, so I can see why it would be even more for you. I mean, we have plenty of people that don't replace, but we have a lot that when, okay, a CNA, somebody replaces them anyway, regardless of them taking the PTO paid out, or actually when they take it paid out, it probably saves us because nobody's having to replace them in their job. But for people that, like, you have somebody who has a salary of $50,000 a year and they're getting their 50,000 plus they're getting another 20,000 because they kept all their normal hours the way they were and now they're getting PTO on top of it. So that's when you have a lot of those, that makes it really hard. And I was like, how are you going to budget for that? So, I mean, I think ours would really like it, but also you want them to take the PTO. You want them to use PTO. You want them to, that's what it's there for. Why else do we give it?
no, I completely agree. And I have not in a very strict way, but I have absolutely encouraged employees, hey, you earned your time off, take it. Right. And maybe there will come a point where I will just say, hey, in the next month, you have to take 5 days off. I don't feel like I have to do that yet. And maybe that's something that the council might want to, socialize at some point. Maybe the personnel reps socialize, like, hey, we need to maybe push this. Because, yeah, I think that, I don't see a reason why you need to sit on that much. Me personally, I think if you have PTO, you should burn it. And again, we're a small city, and there is an expectation to have some service. But at what point do you say, like, hey, stop, go take your time off?
And I'm not, I know it's hard, and I'm have PTO myself, and getting the time off and taking the time off is challenging sometimes. So I understand that it's just like hard budgeting, but I guess it goes into, if they didn't take it, you have that, which we have as well, it would go into an HSA, a healthcare savings plan, HCSP.
Yes.
Instead of the HSA, but it would go into that's what it is. So I guess really no different that if Amy was to let her 40 hours go until the end of the year, he'd still be paying it regardless because it would go to the healthcare savings plan. So I mean, I guess you're allowed not to take it, but I just wondered, yeah, I'm sure many of ours would love it.
That's something that if it gets abused, like Brett said,
Mhm.
if it's something that gets abused, we can amend the policy.
I mean, we're watching our numbers, pretty gosh darn close. And again, it's one of those things where I have a personal relationship with everyone that works in City Hall. And I can have that conversation in my office where it's like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, you need to talk to me because like what you're doing right now, like this, we're not gonna be able to sustain that right now. Like, what is this? And I just don't think it's ever going to have to come up to the council level. I think I can handle it at my level, and I don't see it being a huge issue. But yeah, again, there's the possibility where it'll get taken advantage of, and then fine, I'll take advantage of my levers.
You're just like not putting, I mean, you're making it pretty lenient. So if there's a situation that's not so black and white and it's like set at 40 and you can't go over because, I mean, I know when COVID happened and all that happens, or, she has somebody out who you don't things that are unforeseen and you don't expect them to happen and they happen, then when you have it black and white and then having to bring it for approval because it's like, well, you can't go over 40. Okay, I get it, but it was like, that's gonna be tough for budgeting because it's really hard to put a number to that.
Well, actually, when you look at it, there's 2,080 work hours in a year, right? And if somebody's got 600 banked, that's almost 1/3 of a year's wages sitting there they could tap into
Yeah,
above and beyond what their normal pay is.
yeah.
So how do you budget for that? That'd be tough.
I
And
did
when-
give her a deferred comp option too. So she can move some of her PTO time into a deferred comp plan. That would be all on her. She would pay for it. She would do it. It goes into the same company as the healthcare savings plan. She would pay it.
Well, let's get back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just the questions I had on it because I haven't had a chance to talk to you. Was looking through the personal policy on it and was like, oh, and asking if you felt that we needed to follow the same. So if we didn't at the time we decided we could go with more, we can discuss that at a board council level at the time that we would decide, or there's no expectations to us to do the 20.
Well, you're kind of an autonomous operation.
Yeah,
You're running yours, and the city's running theirs, take all that, but if it's not broke, let them try to fix it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just need a motion for,
I'd make the motion to approve the monthly report as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Thank you all.
Thanks, Laura.
unfinished business, personnel policy adoption. Councilmember Tom Perry, let me know today that there was a piece missing. You can see the product up here, the sentence is added. The 30-minute lunch break will be taken between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. That was also brought to my attention by another council member today. Otherwise, what you see is what you got. There was that one portion that was all read out and struck through. That was removed as well in the policy.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Right on.
I will read this resolution. This is 2025-30, resolution adopting the City of Menahga personnel policy. Whereas the City of Menahga has reviewed and updated its personnel policy to ensure consistency with current laws, regulations, and best practices. And whereas the City Council finds it in their best interest, it finds it in the best interest of the city to adopt the updated personnel policy. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, that the updated personnel policy is hereby adopted and shall take effect immediately upon passage. Adopted by the City Council of the City of Menahga, Minnesota, this the 14th day of October, 2025.
Are we adopting it immediately or
I thought it was gonna be January.
first of
1.
January?
There are some provisions in here that are effective 1 January.
Oh, okay.
And those are in bold. And I can find you a reference.
No, that's fine. You don't have to.
What was that number? The resolution number?
2025-30.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-30? personnel policy? Steve? Second,
Second.
Gerald? All in favor, say aye.
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 Both same sign. Personnel policy is approved. Brings us to the bill.
And I know that I plugged this already, council, but if you have any checks from the city, please put them in your bank.
Yeah, we're doing direct deposit, right?
Starting January first,
Yeah, starting January.
I mean,
Yes.
we're doing it right now, though, aren't
All
we?
except for one.
all but one.
Oh, okay,
I
so,
think there's 2 people in the entire city that still get
okay.
charged.
But in January, it's changing. Make Brett's and Kelly's life easier.
Yeah, no, I just thought we were already doing
Yeah.
it. Why not? Okay.
All right, good to go. We got 4 batches for a total of $100,516.99. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say
I
aye.
got
Oh,
one
yeah,
question.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just got a quick question on the investments.
Yes, sir.
I just did a quick read through late this afternoon on it. And one thing that caught my attention was, we've got, maybe I'm not reading this right, but we're showing, cash at Community First Bank checking of $451,000. Is it sitting in a checking account or is it in an investment?
The fire equipment fund?
Yeah,
Fire equipment fund, that's their checking account, right?
Yeah, but their fire equipment fund, they have 90-some thousand in the fire fund.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
But the
okay.
400 and some is all.
Yes, their
it's
totals.
that- Yeah, it's
Okay,
that whole
okay.
column.
So
that
they,
whole Top column.
yeah, they actually do have, 1 in 4M, they have 1 in 4M.
no, I understand that, but it says cash and Community First Bank checking. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well,
They,
right now, actually, it's not.
Wh-
We have like 400,000 in the checking account right now,
Why is that?
because we just got reimbursed for Kenneck's health insurance. The police department got a state aid. The fire department did, but we covered that and gave them a check right away. So all of those payments came in like the last
So just at the
3
moment,
weeks.
at the moment, there's that much sitting there, but it will be going into 4Ms and whatnot.
Yes,
That was my question. Good point. So that, there'll be some massaging of that number, so we're collecting better interest rates than what a checking account is paying.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are on top of our investing.
No, that answered my question. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's that time of year where everything comes in kind of low.
yeah.
Is then Brett, I think is it November or ended October? All the fire department's retirement stuff has to be sent down to the state.
Middle of November, is what
Yeah.
Robert said.
Yeah, so that's the investments and the retirement, so. The only thing that this,
But that's not part of that investment. That's a standalone investment by the fire department, right? Because it's already in an investment fund.
Yes.
So it's not reflected in the 451,000.
yeah, it's,
It's a different pot of cash.
yeah,
You also,
I got nothing.
all right, got a motion in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Aye. Same time. Bid bill. Then I take a motion for adjournment.
Someone,
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
all right.
Aye. Turn at 7:19.
Okay, thank you everyone for one viewer. And we are signing off now.
Must have been Shannon.
That's right.